There's no such thing as sight reading. And the big argument I saw today on social media was, do accidentals carry into other octaves within the measure? Now, we've discussed accidentals in the past. Even the idea that the accidental carries through the measure, although it's not that that isn't true, that is how someone who reads one note at a time would describe it. The accidental isn't there to change a single note, and then you're supposed to remember to continue changing that single note through the measure. The accidental is there to change one scale to another or one chord to another. It's typically a temporary key change that lasts until the end of the bar. But the question was, does the accidental carry into other octaves or does it not? The answer is both. It varies depending on the publishing company and depending on the time of publication. Now, in most modern music, the accidental will be reapplied if it appears in other octaves within the measure. Here's an example of a modern excerpt. This is in the key of C minor. You see we have B naturals in 3 octaves, and they've reapplied the accidental in all 3 octaves. Now, if you're musically literate, it's irrelevant because we can see that in the first measure, that's a B diminished chord, which is actually a substitute for a G7 flat 9, which is the 5 chord in the key of C minor. And then in beats 3 and 4, we have a C minor chord. So it is a 5-1 resolution in the key of C minor. So if you're reading the chords and following the direction of the line, then the reapplication of the accidental is irrelevant. Now in this excerpt, it's a similar situation. We're in the key of C minor, but as you can see in the second measure, we have the B natural applied to the B below the staff, but it is intended to carry to the middle line B. And we know this because key of C minor, in the first bar we have D7 flat 9 material, which is 5 of 5, leading to G major, which is the 5 chord in the key of C minor, and then in the third bar we resolve to the C minor scale and C minor chord. So if you're reading the scales and chords and following the direction of the line, it's immediately obvious that that B natural carries into all octaves because you're not reading one note at a time, you're thinking G major chord, G major arpeggio. So in some publications, the accidentals carry into multiple octaves, and in some, they do not. And if you're reading music one note at a time, there's absolutely no way for you to tell one from the other. There's absolutely no way to tell if that accidental carries into the multiple octaves or not. However, if you are reading music contextually, if you're thinking the scales and chords and following the direction of the line, then it is immediately recognizable if those accidentals carry through based on surrounding context, and the entire argument becomes irrelevant. My name's Mark Dooley. I've been a private music teacher for 36 years, focused on practical theory and music literacy. If you'd like to hear more, follow me. If you'd like lessons, contact me. And if you can learn how to read words, you can learn how to read music.